War for Edadh is a game of battle. As in any battle game, you get different troops, in this case represented by troop cards. You get a variety of these, which enables you to pick the ones that you want when you're building your unit or your army. You and your opponent build your armies of choice. Then you face off over terrain cards which represent the battlefield. These terrain cards enable you to fight at different combat levels, different ranges. Armies start far apart at the ballistic combat level, where here they use weapons such as bows and guns. The armies then close in to the charge combat level. Here they're beginning to charge, so shorter range weapons such as pistols and throwing axes can be employed. Then the armies come together at the melee combat level, where hand-to-hand weapons are used. You can play a simple game, where you fight over a single terrain card. The game comes with different terrain, such as woods, marsh, hills, and grass. Each type does affect the game differently. And you can play a game where you're fighting over 5 terrain cards. In this game you can move your troop cards from one terrain to the next, and even move them onto your opponent's side of the battlefield to gain an advantage. The core gameplay is very tactical. You and your opponent have got 6 cards, identical to each other, and it's a game in which you've got to play the right card at the right time in order to win. It's very tactical and strategic. Like all good strategy games, it's easy to learn, but can take a while to master. And you can play the game very simply, but it's modular, so you can add in elements as you go along and as you want them. You can get champions, this combat master. You can also add in leaders, this battle master. There are standards that you can use in the game. And you can also add in stratagem cards. With these you can do things such as rallying your troops or gain advantage from terrain. In the base set you get 2 different warring factions. You get the Rebel Ang and the Tsar Empire. And in expansions, which are set decks of cards, you can expect to get, amongst other things, different troop types for these warring factions. And in other expansions, you'll come across new warring factions. As well as this, you'll come across other more unusual things. And with expansions, you'll be able to play the game in different ways. You'll be able to play a more scout versus scout game. In this you'll be able to ambush and lay traps. Then there is aerial combat, as well as naval warfare, sieges, urban combat, and tunnel warfare. And here the game can also go on to be played as like a dungeon quest game. But what's the game actually like to play? Well, here's some quotes from some reviewers and from gamers. For more information, to see how the game plays, to get more reviews, and more about the world of Edadh, go to our website, warriorelite.com.